Today at the Capitol, Pam Bondi just turned an Epstein oversight hearing into a one-woman tantrum tour. Jamie Raskin laid it out. Your job is justice, and your client is the American people. And the victims are literally sitting behind you. Then they asked survivors to stand and raise their hands if the DOJ still hasn't met with them. Every single hand went up.
Job in America, because your mission is justice and your clients are the American people. But to promote justice for the people, you've got to listen to the victims, like the women seated behind you today. Those are just some of the hundreds of survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's global sex trafficking ring who are demanding that the truth be told and are demanding accountability for the abusers who trafficked and raped them. You still haven't met with these survivors. So with their permission, let me introduce to you the survivors and late survivors' family members who are present today. There's Teresa Helm, there's Jess Michaels, Laura Bloom McGee, Danny Bensky, Liz Stein, Marina Lacerda, Sky and Amanda Roberts, who are the family of the late Virginia Dupre, Charlene Richard, and Lisa Phillips. Now, you're not showing a lot of interest in the victims, Madam Attorney General. Whether it's Epstein's human trafficking ring or the homicidal governmental violence against citizens in Minneapolis, as Attorney General, you're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you...
Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Bondi was asked a simple question. Will you turn around and apologize for what your DOJ put these survivors through with the release of their information? Instead, she tried to pivot to, well, what about the last guy? Ma'am, this is not a group project. It's your department. Own it.
Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi,
I'm going to finish my answer.
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question that I would like you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice is.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness get to answer in the way they want to answer it.
That's not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer. So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked...
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
I'm reclaiming my time, and when I reclaim my time...
I'm not getting in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just...
Chairman, I'll direct it.
And apparently she showed up with what people inside the room are calling a burn book. Like this is middle school and she's Regina George with a law license. While survivors are asking for answers, she's running, "Who hurt my feelings?" roll call. Then a member asked about Dumpy's presence around Epstein. Bondi basically short-circuited on camera. She's yelling, "This is ridiculous! Most transparent presidency! Don't accuse me of a crime!" That's not an answer. That's a smoke bomb with mascara.
From a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a
I believe
crime.
you just lied under oath, and this is on videotape. You said there's no evidence of crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry he was going to stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been.
And it wasn't just Democrats. Republican Thomas Massey grilled her about the document handling, redactions, and what survivors' attorneys said should never be released. When Republicans are side-eyeing your transparency, you're not misunderstood. You're messy.
I have 3 documents from the DOJ production that are emblematic of the massive failure of the DOJ to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact. A list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name, and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there. The next document I want to show you, and that was in the title, the victim's survivors' names, right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking. Co-conspirators, fully redacted. And by the way, we don't redact them here. Les Wexner is in this. Now, your deputy attorney general said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files, but he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking, not to prostitution, not to money laundering, child sex trafficking. And then finally, what we have here, is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD302 release. These are the documents that we need, that you're holding on to and over-redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI.
So here's the headline. Survivors got ignored, questions got dodged, and Bondi brought theatrics instead of accountability. Follow for updates because I'm not letting the DOJ hide behind a temper tantrum.